any of that annoying ticking sound. Anyway, our conversation with Donald Trump today took place at the Woolman Ice Rink in Central Park here in Gotham City. It is a place very close to Trump's heart because about 3 decades ago, he took it from the dumps and gave it that special Trumpian magic touch. Central Park's iconic Woolman Ice Rink is as much a part of New York City's mad holiday season as the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, the window displays at Barney's and Saks, and endless reruns of Elf on cable. When the Woolman Rink opened in 1950, it was a marvel, hosting 300,000 skaters in its first year alone. But like much of Gotham City over the decades that followed, the Woolman Rink descended into disrepair. In 1980, it was shut down, slated for a nearly $5 million overhaul, but then the project stalled. 6 years later, the rink had yet to reopen and was $12 million over budget. Enter Donald J. Trump. Then just 40 years old, Trump set his sights on Woolman, literally. Looking down from his swanky Fifth Avenue Airy in Trump Tower, the Donald could see the dilapidated rink and was disgusted with the view. Never short of opinions or shy about voicing them, in June 1986, Trump vowed to take the renovation project over from the city, bring it in under budget, and have the rink open by Christmas. Mayor Ed Koch reluctantly capitulated, and Trump delivered. By November, Woolman Rink was up and running, and nearly $1 million under budget.
I give Ed Koch and Commissioner Henry Stern tremendous credit for having the courage to say, Donald, go and do it. And it would have been probably a lot better for them if I didn't do it.
You just saw the modest Donald Trump. But Donald Trump deserves an enormous amount of credit.
Trump sometimes now cites the Woolman Rink renovation in the context of his presidential ambitions. So when we met him today at the landmark in question, I started out by asking Trump to give us a guided tour down memory lane. So let's go back to the summer of 1986. Your office, not that far from here. You looked down and saw what? And why did you then decide to get involved in this project?
I saw for years a mess. I saw a place that was under construction, which is the Woolman Rink, and it was under construction for many years, 8 to be exact. And I said, what's going on? We're talking about a slab of concrete. Now, it's actually much more complicated than that, to be honest with you. But still, it's a very large slab of concrete. And after a number of years, I called the mayor. I said, what's going on? And nobody was ever working. They were having a lunch break all day long. Hundreds of people, they'd all be sitting. And it's been a great experiment. I mean, you may want to continue with your question, but it's been certainly a great experiment.
What was in it for you?
Well, I just wanted to get it done. I had a young daughter, at that time young and still young, Ivanka. And she said, Dad, I'd love to go ice skating. But that rink is never going to open. And, you know, we took in 7 to 8 years closed, 7 seasons and 8 years total. And I said, let me look into it. So I looked down, and I'd see it right from Trump Tower. And then I'd pass it, and I'd look at the men. I know a lot of the men, because the construction business I know. And I'd see a lot of the workers, and they'd wave to me, hi, Mr. Trump. I said, what's wrong here, fellas? He said, nobody wants us to work. Nobody cares. And I went to see Koch, Ed Koch, who was the mayor at the time. And I said, listen, I will do this job, and I'll get it done fast. It was a huge embarrassment for the city, because you know what was happening. It was a front-page story. It was the biggest story, because you couldn't get it was 8 years to open an ice skating rink. And I went to Ed Koch. I said, let me do it. If I don't do it for under $2 million and do it fast, I'll pay for it. And he was not 100%. You know, he was embarrassed by the whole situation. But I took it over. I got it done in 4 months. But people use this as an example of what can be done private enterprise.
Right. So is this a story about the ineffectiveness of the public sector and the effectiveness of the private sector, or does this say something special about your capacity to get things done?
Well, I do have a great capacity to get things done, but it also has to do with the private sector. I mean, I don't know if anybody could have record. As an example, the old post office under construction right now on Pennsylvania Avenue, right between Congress and the White House. Boom. The most beautiful building. It is incredible. I'm under budget, ahead of schedule, which is what we should be. And we're going to open, we were supposed to open in 17. We're now going to open probably in September of 16, which is very good timing, actually, right on Pennsylvania Avenue. So I get things done. But I mean, another one that I'm very proud of, Ferry Point. They had a big development in the Bronx that was a disaster, under construction probably for 30 years. Nobody really knows when it started. It was so long ago. And I got it done in a year, and it's open now.